What's up, my dudes? So today I'll be teaching you all about grounding and how to remove negative energies from you. Now, I like to do this more in nature, but if you are someone who is stuck inside, or you're someone that doesn't really want to be out in nature all the time, right now it is, I believe the highest today is supposed to be 102. Right now it's somewhere in the 90s. But yeah, grounding is basically just a way of removing the negative energies from you, and also just resetting either after you've done a lot of spell work or... So the main way I remove negative energies is to do any sort of grounding. This usually means walking barefoot in any sort of forest or trail. Right now I am in Maryland, so I'm going to be walking in trails that are here. But wherever I am, I tend to go towards the trails or the campsites or just the more foresty areas. This one actually happens to be right in front of a lake. It's pretty nice. It's very still right now just because it's early in the morning and there's not really any people out. I actually did talk to someone who fishes here. He's been fishing, I think he's been fishing for 50 years, but here specifically he's been fishing for 25 years, so he knows the area. He's given me a few suggestions on where to go in this area. If you're ever traveling somewhere, make sure you get to know the local people that are there. This is just because if something is interesting or dangerous, it's most likely the locals will know about it. So something else you can do to ground yourself is to go into a lake or a river and do any sort of meditation. Now, you can do this type of meditation in any sort of flowing source. I'm not going to be doing it here just because it's very polluted, and there's also not a piece of the lake where I can sit and actually enjoy the water coming over me. This is more of a just sitting body of water that sometimes rains when it gets too high. I would not suggest to you to meditate or ground or do anything in stagnant water, just because stagnant water is a lot dirtier, and also you don't know what can be underneath. If it's flowing, it's not as likely that some little fish or some little creature is going to come up to you. For me, whenever I am in water, even if it is flowing, I would get snakes and fish brought to me. That does not necessarily mean that that is a bad place to be. It is actually a good thing that the environment that you are can support life and actually support things in the water. That's actually good. A lot of places I explore and a lot of places I go, it's very polluted, so you do not get the fish and the other creatures. Beaches are kind of a great area for grounding and things like that, just because of the way it is. It's just a simple push and pull. For me, when I like to be grounding, I like to have everything washed away, not just slammed back and forth into me. If I wanted that, I would go and grind it. If you are someone who wants to do any sort of grounding or meditation in water, I suggest that you pick somewhere that is slightly above the water. So whether that be on a stone or a rock or just a man-made structure like a deck or something, and just have part of your body submerged and touching the water and just letting that flow through. You don't have to completely sit in the water up to your chest like I do. If you just want to have part of your feet in there, or you just want to have part of your legs in there, you can. Alright, third transition. Started to rain and I don't have the case on my phone, so underneath this little thing, as I was saying, there are multiple different ways of grounding, and just because something works for me does not necessarily mean it's going to work for you. And also, you could find a way of grounding that works best for you. So just because I do not suggest it does not mean that you shouldn't try it. I believe all witches should try a little bit of everything to find out what works for them and what sticks for them, but that does not necessarily mean that you have to do everything the way that I do, or you have to know like 50 different ways to do one different type of spell. This is just basically saying that grounding and recharging are something that you have to figure out for yourself. For me, the best way for me to ground is to walk outside. The best way for me to recharge is to smoke some herbs. That's what works for me. That's what I've experienced. The last technique that I'm going to be telling you today is to either bask in the sun or bask in the moonlight. Now, I am someone who is mostly awake during the night, so I do not do any sort of sun activities. In fact, the only reason why I am out right now is because there is no one else around me and I can record this video. I don't have to worry about lighting because it is daytime. If it was nighttime, I wouldn't even be able to be here actually. So I tend to only use the moon rays and not really the sun rays. Each one can work for you, whether you're absorbing sun rays or you're absorbing moon rays. Everything in moderation. If you are in the sun too long, then you'll get a tan or you'll have skin issues. If you're in the moon too long, I don't believe the UV rays are as much, but again, just in moderation. I personally do not do direct rays, whether that be from the sun or the moon. What I like to do is just have my windows open and have that hit me. If you are in a sticks and bricks, or if you are just somewhere where you cannot just be outside readily like this, I would suggest you have a meditation spot next to your window or just next to an opening where you can be and you can sit, you can recharge. You can either look at the moon, or if you have something on your window, you can look at just something to where you can sit in one place, absorb the rays, and just have that charge you. You do not necessarily have to do this for a long time. Most of the time when I do it, it's at most 30 minutes to an hour, but I do not do this very long. And also, you do not have to do this on a regular basis. I tend to do moon rays when it is a certain moon, and I also do it if I'm feeling that I need the moon energy rather than whatever else that I have on hand. I tend to do things that I can use whenever I want to, just because I would rather have my own schedule and not work on other things' schedules. This is just for me. If you would like to schedule out your grounding and your recharging for certain days or certain times of the month, then you can. And the fourth time having to move somewhere. This park is just popping. There is like a whole group of people here, and it is 8 in the morning on a Sunday. I don't know what these people are doing. It's not any sort of holiday. They're just over here having a grand old time here early in the morning. Most of the people on the road aren't even on the road. It's like literally when I was coming here, road was empty, not nothing. And now there's a bunch of people. I don't understand. But with grounding, you really want to find what works for you, and also you have to find the thing that resonates with you. If you are doing something and say it doesn't feel right, or maybe you feel like you could do better, or maybe you just don't really like what you're doing, you could always do something else. You don't have to worry about you messing up something or you overdoing it. Grounding and recharging, you really can't overdo it. I would just say that the way you go about it can be overdone. So if you are doing something to ground and recharge yourself over and over again, like you've done that for say a month or a year or something, and one day you're just like, hey, I want to try something else, you fully well can. You do not have to stick with what you started with. You do not have to stay in the same craft that you are. If you want to be a different type of witch because maybe you're not feeling the type of witchcraft that you're doing, maybe you're not feeling your practice, you are more than welcome to switch whenever you feel that you need to. You need to find out what works for you and find out what practice you want to actually be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It is getting very bright out, and it appears that there are even more people coming. So I'm gonna go take a nap for about 12 hours. If you would like to support me in any way, just check the description and there will be links to where you can support me directly. I'm also going to be starting a Patreon, so if you would like to know more of my day-to-day life and know more of a behind the scenes, where I'm going, where I'm at, things like that, then go ahead and check my Patreon. That'll be a good way to support me. And also, if you would like to contact me in any way, whether that be for business or personal, just check the description. My socials will be linked down there and you can contact me there. If you would like to learn anything else about witchcraft or witchcraft related content, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting as often as I can. I try to post at least once a week, but I know it's been sort of hard doing that with my schedule right now. But I'm going to be doing a better job of that. Hopefully you like this style of video more than just my regular sitting down talking videos. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Have a good day, night life. Enjoy yourself and be happy.